Hey there, and welcome. In today's world of manufacturing, everything comes down to precision. Whether you're testing the pull strength of a cable or the exact twist of a screw, your measurements have got to be absolutely perfect. But here's the real question. How do you prove it? How do you know for sure? Well, let's dive into that and explore the gold standard for testing competence, ISO 7025. So, here's our game plan. We're going to talk about why the stakes are so high when it comes to measurement. Then we'll introduce the standard that basically guarantees competence. After that, we'll walk through the key benefits, break down 5 practical steps to get you on the right track, and finally, we'll see how you can get some expert support. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, first up, let's set the scene. We are talking about force and torque testing. Measuring how much push, pull, or twist a product can actually handle. This stuff is the absolute heart of quality control for so many industries. And the numbers you get from these tests, they're not just data points on a spreadsheet. They are a promise you make to your customer. So this is a question you really have to ask yourself in a market this competitive. When your company's reputation and your bottom line are on the line, how much faith do you really have in the numbers your lab is putting out? Because let me tell you, if that confidence starts to wobble, the consequences can be, well, they can be massive. And this right here shows you just how big the risk is. If you get it wrong, you're not just looking at a minor setback. No way. You could be facing false readings that give a green light to faulty products, failed inspections that can shut down your whole production line, incredibly expensive recalls, and worst of all, you could be creating serious safety hazards. The stakes just couldn't be higher. So, how do you get a handle on that risk? How do you build that rock-solid confidence? Well, that is exactly where this next part comes in. What we need is a global benchmark, a standard for competence, and that standard is ISO 7025. So, what is it exactly? Think of ISO 7025 as the international rulebook for any lab that does testing or calibration. The key thing to understand is that it's not about what you test, but all about how you test. It makes sure a lab knows what it's doing, that its results are valid, and that it's totally impartial. It is, without a doubt, the definitive seal of approval. And when you look at what's covered, you see just how thorough this thing is. It covers everything. We're talking about calibration and making sure your measurements can be traced all the way back to international standards. It's about having validated test methods, keeping your equipment under tight control, making sure your team is competent and trained, and having solid quality assurance procedures in place. It's the whole shebang, a full 360 degrees approach to quality. Okay, so you might be thinking, why go through all that effort for accreditation? Well, as we're about to see, the benefits are huge. It really transforms your lab from just a place that does tests into a truly trusted authority. Benefit number 1, and this is a big one, traceability. The best way to think about it is like a birth certificate for your measurement. It creates this perfect, unbroken chain that links your specific testing instrument all the way back to a national or even an international standard. And that chain is absolutely crucial because it slashes measurement uncertainty. You know exactly where your numbers came from, and more importantly, you can prove it. Next up, reliability. See, ISO 17025 insists that your testing methods are validated and repeatable. Now, this isn't just about doing the same test twice and getting the same result. It's much deeper than that. It's about proving your entire process, from the initial setup to the final report, is controlled and consistent. That's what makes your data genuinely trustworthy. And all that reliability, it builds an incredible amount of confidence. When you're accredited, you have this powerful tool to show everyone, your customers, auditors, regulators, that you are serious about quality. It's an independent stamp of approval that your lab is competent and data is solid. And believe me, that is a massive advantage that helps you win new business and keep your current customers happy. And at the end of the day, all of this leads directly to risk mitigation. By having these structured systems in place, you are actively controlling all those risks we talked about earlier. You're preventing bad pass-fail calls, you're protecting your company from expensive warranty claims, and you're making sure your products are safe when they get out into the real world. All right, so we have covered the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. Let's break this down into a practical 5-step guide to get your measurement program aligned with this incredibly important standard. So here are the 5 key things you need to do. First, establish traceability, and the only way to do that is to use an accredited lab for your own calibrations. Second, validate and document all your test methods. You've got to know your process inside and out. Third, keep meticulous equipment logs for absolutely everything. Fourth, train your people. Make sure they really understand the instruments and how to interpret the data. And finally, you have to constantly review and audit your own systems. It's all about staying sharp. Now, I know that might sound like a lot to take on, but here's the good news. You do not have to do it all by yourself. This last section is all about how to get the right support to make compliance a reality. Because that's the real challenge, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing to understand the standard on paper, but it's a whole other beast to actually implement it effectively while you're also trying to run a busy manufacturing operation. And this is where having the right partner becomes absolutely essential. A company like IDM Instruments, for instance, can provide the whole package of support, from ISO 17025 certified calibration services and high-quality Mark 10 instruments to helping you with documentation and training, providing maintenance programs to keep you on track, and even offering expert consultation when it's audit time. And that really brings us to our final thought. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. ISO 17025 accreditation is not just some certificate you hang on the wall to look nice. It's a strategic tool. It's something that enables quality, builds trust, and protects your business from top to bottom. And in today's world of manufacturing, the real question is, can you afford not to have it?